This year's SEMA coverage is proudly brought to you by All American Muscle, experts in American car restoration, service and parts supply, based in Johannesburg, South Africa.
3, 2, 1, go!
I think a lot of people are like, is it going to work? Why would you do that?
So it has a very high pitch, really nice sound.
So basically you're saying your neighbors all know when you're late for Sunday lunch, basically.
Yeah, that cold start is fire, man. That cold start is fire.
It's not just a car with modifications, it's a modification that looks like a car, you know?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And yes, those are cup holders.
It is day number 4 and we keep on walking, keep on smiling, keep on making new friends and keep on looking and appreciating at monstrous bulls just like this one. So make sure you stay tuned because we got a jam-packed episode. We find ourselves a CRX, which is a Honda, which we did have back home in South Africa, but this one has been taken to a whole new level. Yaziel's out here from Guichi. You know, they sound like, you know, that expensive, exclusive stuff. So we're gonna start out on the rear and then we'll work to the front.
Yeah.
So what year is the CRX?
It's a 89 CRX, it's a SI chassis, and then we did a J32 swap with a J to K mid-plate and a sequential transmission. It's a Quaife sequential, 6-speed, and we also did all-wheel drive to get the power down.
Oh, you made it all-wheel drive?
Yeah, so a little thing that's unique in the back, you don't see any brake rotors on the outside.
Oh, you kept him inside close to the
So
diff?
we got a Winters rear end on the back with the inboard brakes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Tough,
yeah,
man.
a little unique.
What kind of horsepower does it make?
So motor's built by P2R, fully sleeved, bottom end, all done up. It's rated for 1,000. We're gonna push 850 on this one.
You're 850 on a little Honda CRX that weighs how much?
It should be around 2,400.
Yeah, no, that makes for a lot of fun. Do you plan to track it in any way?
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to do Sebring, we want to do grid life.
Tell us a little bit about the body lines and the
Yeah,
kit.
so we 3D scanned the whole car, and we had partnered up with John Saval, the designer, and he did the rendering of the vehicle, and then we translated that to Illumisthetic. They 3D printed the kit for us, and then we just fitted it to the car.
Tell us a little bit about the interior. You kept it race trim.
Yeah, so we have, you know, OEM dash, we flocked it, and then we did OMP seats, and our friend Brad over at Huff Fine Carbon did an Eco Carbon for us. So the whole interior has an Eco Carbon backplate on the seats, door cards, and then all the little trim, we try to add it into that. And it just gives it that little bit of look. On the back of the car, you'll see a window, so you can see the Winters rear end with the Eco Carbon around it. It's just, try to give it that.
And the last piece that I have to ask about is this section here. You know, the bull tail plus the wing. Did you guys make that from scratch?
We did, yeah. So it is a time attack car. It's not inspired. It's going to be a time attack car. So want to make sure we get the proper drag wing on the back with the full downforce. Yeah. And yes, those are cup holders.
You know, it's funny. I was like, maybe it's for like to direct air down. Okay.
Everyone keeps asking, what are those? It's exactly what you think.
A cup holder.
It's a cup holder.
Yaziel doing it for Guichi.
Yeah.
So you told us a little bit about the motor. Can we go a little bit more in depth?
Yeah, absolutely. So P2R, they're located in Florida. They did a full sleeved bottom end, pistons, rods, everything. CNC the heads. We have 2 Garrett's 25 650s. Full titanium from Tycon on the front end. All the charge pipe, cold pipes. The stainless pros rear end.
All this fabricated in-house?
All fabricated in-house. Our friend Tim helped us out with that.
Okay.
Radium fuel cell. We have a 5-gallon cell on the back.
I saw that,
Yep.
man. Radium's become a very popular brand when it comes to
It's-
performance. It's like standard, like,
Drop it in and be done.
yeah.
One less thing we have to worry about.
Well, we look forward to seeing you
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
Good Life,
Absolutely.
because we will be watching. Hope you're not full yet, because we got mad more rides to fuel that car hunger just after the break.
The battery will save like the last 10% in case your battery dies for whatever reason.
Oh, wow.
And then it has a button you press and it jumps it for you. So you don't have to get like jumper cables or anything like that, you know?
I learned to fabricate, learned to weld, learned to paint, learned to wire, learned to do engine swaps, and I built the whole 86.
By yourself.
By myself, no other help.
By himself. This year's SEMA coverage is proudly brought to you by All American Muscle, experts in American car restoration, service and parts supply, based in Johannesburg, South Africa. This year's SEMA coverage is proudly brought to you by All American Muscle, experts in American car restoration, service and parts supply, based in Johannesburg, South Africa. Okay, and welcome to the show, my man.
Yep, glad to be here.
So, I've got to start this segment. You built an E30 box shape. An E30 box shape BMW back home in South Africa is like cult status, superstar royalty. So well done, you chose a good platform.
Thank you.
Why did you choose the E30?
So from the beginning, I got the opportunity to come out to SEMA in 2019, right after I had turned 18.
Wow.
And I saw a green E30 with the exact same body kit that this car has on it. And that had so much fabrication, so much detail, and it really opened my eyes to what you can do with cars, like where you can take engine work, fabrication work, and just the overall build. It's not just a car with modifications, it's a modification that looks like a car, you know?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And so I had the 86 already. It wasn't built really at all, but I came home, started learning to weld, and over the course of the next 2 years, I learned to fabricate, learned to weld, learned to paint, learned to wire, learned to do engine swaps, and I built the whole 86.
By yourself.
By myself, no other help.
By himself. So let's start off this engine bay, because it's truly a work of art and definitely demands your attention while you walk by. Tell us your choice of engine and the fabrication that you went through.
It is running a Texas Speed 427 LS. It is LS3 block, board stroked and sleeved up to 7 liters, and then LS7 heads. So thing is rated for around 725 horsepower.
Wow, how much does the car weigh?
I don't know exactly, but by my estimation, 22 to 2,400 pounds. So it's gonna be rowdy.
Yeah, that's a lot of power and torque for a light E30 box shape. So tell us a little bit about the throttle body setup, because it looks spectacular with the stacks.
Yeah, so Redux Racing ITB manifold on this thing. I love ITBs. It's the sound of,
They look fantastic.
Oh, the look, the sound, everything.
It's like an
amazing.
orchestra in the front, everybody like just blowing trumpets. I love it.
Yeah, so the 86 was that 8-to-1, that was the standout. I wanted to bring in the ITB manifold on this one and have that be really the centerpiece of the engine bay. But yeah, I mean, there's loads of other things throughout that engine bay. C6 Corvette suspension throughout on the car. So
Wow.
it's barely an E30 at this point.
You also did a lot of like tube chassis up front. You cut off basically
Yes.
the nose.
Yeah, so it's actually a full tube chassis, like space frame. So the tube chassis stands on its own. It looks like a little go-kart, and the body is dropped on, and then the firewall is redone to reattach the body to the tube chassis. The interior paneling is redone to attach the body to the tube chassis, and then the rear clip and the front clip are fully removable.
You made that sound so simple. Basically cut the hole underneath the E30, you like just cut it out, lifted the body, built a full chassis,
Yeah,
basically,
and then just panel it all back together.
all by yourself. That is insane. Tell us about the body kit that you like so much, man.
So this is the Live to Offend body kit. I just love how it accentuates the square body look. It doesn't add too many vents or too much unnecessary design. It really just widens it up and even squares it up a little bit more. And I feel like, at least on this car, because there's so much fabrication and so much detail, having a little bit cleaner body and color
Yes.
just ties that back.
I also love the interior because you kept it like minimalistic and raw. You kept it that race feel. I see you got a big e-brake because you know us sliders, we like to yank on the e-brake. Tell us a little bit about that interior model.
So you can see the Tremec Magnum on the interior. You have a bunch of Haltech ECU screens in there, the Haltech ECU in the passenger footwell, anti-gravity battery in there, and then really the standout is the vintage Houndstooth Recaros.
Yeah, that looks spectacular, man.
Yeah, really bring it back to that kind of 80s look.
I see you also kept the radiator in the back. Obviously, you know, you're freeing up the centerpiece being the engine like you wanted it, and yeah, it makes it look very, very like a drift car like, because we like to stack the radiators in the back. Also gives you a good balance of weight. Cam, thank you for your time and efforts. May God continue to bless you. May you continue to learn some more skills by yourself, because you seem to be putting those skills to spectacular use. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we got a young LA representative rocking a Corvette C8. Hello, Daniel. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
I'm taken aback by the spectacular car that you decided to bring to the Toyota booth. Tell us all about it.
Well, starting from the front, it's a 2023 Corvette C8 Z51. I got an aero package from my friend Amir at RS Future. It's a big lip,
Yeah.
big wing, chassis mounted with the side skirts. I also have a aero hood here in the front. That's from Span. It's a company in Japan. I hooked up with them. It's the first one here in the States.
It looks good and functional because I see it's
it
got
is.
like a.
It goes through the front. I cut out the front of the bumper here in the front where the license plate originally was, and then we just put some screen there, but it is functional.
Yeah, I can see like the air travels from up over the hood.
Yeah. And one of the other big things that I have a anti-gravity battery. That's like one of my favorite things also, because I don't know if you know them, but the battery will save like the last 10% in case your battery dies for whatever reason.
Oh wow.
And then it has a button you press and it jump things for you. So you don't have to get like jumper cables or anything like that, you know? And like coming from Hondas, old school Hondas and stuff, like if you don't put it on a trickle charger or something.
Or you have a friend with some jumpers.
Yeah.
Every time you go to the club because you come out, you forgot your lights on, now you gotta.
Yeah, so the battery has it all integrated. And also has an integrated kill switch, so it'll kill the power as well. So it's kind of like a little alarm system as well.
Tell us a little bit about the interior, because those seats be like calling my name gently.
Yeah, man.
Gently.
These are the new Tillet seats, and these Tillet seats are the XL versions here that they're bringing out to the U.S. You know, the U.S. people are a little bit extra on the hips, you know.
Don't worry, we South Africans, we also extra everywhere.
Yeah. So you know, my hips don't lie either. So these seats fit really snug, fit really good, you know, and they really came through with the seats. They feel really nice. Yeah, they're really sexy.
Tell us a little bit about the engine setup. I know it's a normally aspirated V8, correct?
Yeah. I'm a big naturally aspirated guy, so it's running the stock LT2 6.2, I believe it is, and I have some headers that were made by my good friend Jesse, and it comes out basically straight pipe with titanium exhaust. So it has a very high pitch, really nice sound.
So basically you're saying your neighbors all know when you're late for Sunday lunch, basically.
Yeah, that cold start is fire, man. That cold start is fire. Yeah, he also did a rear diffuser for me, and the mounting on it, it's really nice too. A lot of detail, and it just came out really nice.
Nicely
really nice.
done.
Yeah.
One last piece that was literally the cherry on top when I walked around this car. Tell us in detail about the wheel selection that we have on this Corvette.
These wheels I've had for a while now. I bought them, they're BBS center locks, and I built them out to be they're 18 by 10 in the front and 18 by 12 in the rear. The front I'm running a 295/30 18 tire, the new Toyo Proxys R Slick.
Nice.
And the rear I'm running a 345/35, so that's a pretty big tire. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and it's so nice because it's a really nice 18 package where the brakes fit really nice inside. The brakes, I have Brembos. I have some new Pistas they came out with. It's a really high-end, small package brake. and then in the rear I'm running the GTS models.
So tell us the best memory you've had so far with this car looking the way it does.
Oh man, you know, the best memory I have, honestly, is I built this car in my driveway, and there's a picture that my friend took, and it's me under the car, and my dad's sitting next to me, and my son has a flashlight. So it's like all three generations there. I can remember when my dad was telling me as a kid, like, you know, pass me the 10 mil, pass me the 5 mil. And then he was doing that for me, and then my son was there too.
Creating memories, bro. This is what we talk about. That's what cars do. They bring people together, moms, dads, sons, daughters, wives. They bring them together, and we get to create these unique stories. Daniel, thank you very much for your time. This is how we throw it down. It's not all about cars. We got some deep stories being created here on a yearly basis at SEMA. So we're about to jump into a break, and I'm about to jump in with Tennis Fast in the Optima powered VW Passat, baby, and it's a rear-wheel drive, son. Normally aspirated, mid-mounted, Big Mac Daddy V8.
Yeah, exactly.
V8.
Still a pushrod V8, 9,000 RPM.
This year's SEMA coverage is proudly brought to you by All American Muscle, experts in American car restoration, service and parts supply, based in Johannesburg, South Africa. This year's SEMA coverage is proudly brought to you by All American Muscle, experts in American car restoration, service and parts supply, based in Johannesburg, South Africa. So we're about to go in the one and only Tennis Fast, Optima powered VW Passat.
It'll be just a minute.
No worries, no worries. What motor was used?
It's an LS7 out of the GM Racing program.
Wow. Normally aspirated.
Normally aspirated, 700 on the motor.
Nice.
Ran 900 with 200 shot of nitrous when this did some FD events a long time ago. But for these kinds of things, 700's just barely enough. Okay, let me see if we're good to go now.
No problem, sir. I'm like super excited. Why? Because I found the man, professional drifter, Matt Field. And since we drift back home, we've been watching Formula D since about 2009, since they started live streaming. So we've been looking up to athletes like yourself for a long time. So this is all for those sliders back home, whether you're a spinner or a drifter. We're going to appreciate this. Matt.
Dude, nice to meet you.
Thank you for your time,
I like
bro.
your energy, dude.
Oh, appreciate
I'm the
it,
same
man.
way.
So Matt Field's been drifting a Corvette for many, many years. However, we're here at SEMA and he's just unveiled his brand new car for competition in Formula Drift 2025. Tell us about it.
So it's a C8 Corvette, which means it's mid-engine. So that to me was the biggest step. And I think a lot of people were like, is it gonna work? Why
Yeah.
would you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. But if I don't do it, somebody else will, and I need to be the guy to do it.
The first.
Yes.
The first
We
one.
had to, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody's gonna do it, and why shouldn't it be me?
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a sequential gearbox, 1,000 horsepower, naturally aspirated. Gonna put nitrous on top of it. It's all in a real deal motorsports vehicle.
I just got to rewind back. Normally aspirated, 1,000 horsepower. So break that down to kilowatts, about 735 kilowatts, give or take. Normally aspirated, mid-mounted, Big Mac Daddy V8.
Yeah, exactly.
V8.
Still a pushrod V8, 9,000
Wow.
RPM. Wow. Yeah.
So you told us we're gonna get technical because now I'm a drift junkie. We're gonna ask all the funny questions. So when you're hitting the NOS, do you hit the NOS and does it stay active right through the run, or is it while you like in the corners?
Right. So the cool thing about how advanced the technology package is on these cars nowadays, the ECU can control everything. So we run a Link ECU G5, the latest and greatest, and you can give it parameters. You can say, all right, when my nitrous button is on, and my throttle is at 60%, and my RPM is 3,000 RPM to 7,000 RPM, spray the nitrous. And then you can turn the nitrous button off, and then it'll just act like a normal vehicle. So, and let's say you're like, okay, that's not enough. I need the nitrous to come in lower. You can say, all right, come in at 2,000 RPM, and I want it to run later. Shut off at 8,000 RPM. So the computer can do everything. The days of pushing the button or having all this, those are gone.
Or having a little button at the
They're
end of the
gone,
accelerator. I remember
Yeah,
that.
those are- the micro
blew,
switch.
Yes, that was me. I blew up my inlet manifold. Poof,
Yeah, many
once upon a
times.
time.
Yeah.
So let's get back to this car. So obviously, was this like a stock car that like you got off the floor?
Yeah, not off the floor. It was off the bottom of the ocean, pretty much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this was a severe flood damage car, basically fully submerged because I found water stains on the inside of the headliner, floating down the street in Florida. You remember last year they
Yes,
had all those huge
yeah.
ones and everything, where the McLaren was all messed up and all the supercars. This was one of those cars. So it had 1,800 miles on it, brand new car, but total loss. So I bought it through one of the auction sites because I was like, I don't want to deal with the crash car. You buy a crash car, it's got to go to the frame machine.
Make sure it's straight.
And it's never the same,
Yeah.
right? So we got a flood car, which really helped because it wasn't a cheap car to buy, but I started selling the transmission, the body panels, the doors, the interior, like little pieces that weren't totally damaged. And
I'm
almost
so
paid for
happy you're
itself.
telling me this. When we watch professional drifters, you always think like everything comes for free or comes at a trade, whatever. Listen to this man. He's at the top of the game and he's still selling parts to get income back to build cars. I'm
sure.
loving this, man.
For sure.
Tell us more. Carry on. I'm listening.
All right. So the plan with this car was that it's going to be a demo car. I just want to see if it works. Proof of concept. So I was going to build it really simple. And then, that got out of hand, and now I built the most insane car I would have ever dreamed of.
He was going to build it simple for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The third week, we're like, yeah, we're all in.
We're going all in. Yeah, exactly.
So you excited?
I am excited. I think that it's a huge battle that we're going to be facing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so is the C6. Because everyone says, like, how do you think this is going to work? And I'm like, I have no idea. But I said the same thing about the C6, and now I feel like it's one of the most competitive drift cars out there. Like now you see everyone wants to drive a Corvette. Everyone wants a C6, C5.
It sits nice and low. It's wide,
Yeah.
and it just, it looks good when
And
you're
it looks
driving out
good.
there.
Yeah,
No, it does look
exactly.
good. No
Exactly.
arguments. Matt, listen, I just want to say honestly, thank you. It's been a treat, bro.
Thank you so
Continue
much,
to
man.
push.
Hell yeah.
Like, there's a huge community, not just in South Africa, but on the African continent that watch you as well as your comrades in Formula Drift, and we wish you all the best, bro.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you guys for following along, and I hope to see you guys soon. I want to come over there and do some stuff.
I will.
All right.
We're gonna exchange some Instagram handles, and I'm gonna do just that.
I love it. I love it.
Just like that. It's been another year and another epic SEMA, filled with drift rides, EVs, retro rods, hot rods, and a little bit of everything. Whether you're into low riders, high riders, old school or new school, SEMA had it all. And it's been an epic, awesome experience. This year's SEMA coverage is proudly brought to you by All American Muscle, experts in American car restoration, service and parts supply, based in Johannesburg, South Africa.